So, you landed the job at Cognizant. First off, a huge congratulations. Your start date is circled on the calendar, and you're probably wondering, okay, what's day one actually going to be like? Well, in this explainer, we're going to walk you through absolutely everything you need to know so you can start with total confidence.
Look, it's totally normal to feel that mix of excitement and, a little bit of nervousness before a new job. It's a brand new chapter, and of course, you want everything to go perfectly. We get it, and we are here to help. And that's exactly what this is all about. We're going to cover everything from what you need to do before you even leave the house to the most critical parts of your first day, so you can avoid any of those common little hiccups.
Okay, first things first. Success on day one actually begins a few days before. So let's dive into the essential prep work you need to tackle as that countdown starts. The very first key item you need to look out for is your onboarding pass. Now, don't start stressing and refreshing your email a week early. This pass is usually generated and emailed out just 2 to 3 days before your official start date. So think of it this way. If you're starting on a Monday, you'll probably see it land in your inbox that Friday or Saturday. So, what happens when your friend gets their pass and you're still waiting? The number one rule is don't panic. These things are sent out in batches, yours is on its way. Just keep an eye on your registered email inside that 2 to 3 day window. All right, let's talk about what you need to physically pack in your bag. This stuff is absolutely non-negotiable. You've got to have your government ID, an Aadhaar or PAN card, your signed offer letter, and of course that onboarding pass once it arrives. And here's a pro tip. Always double check that official email just in case they ask for anything extra. Okay, so you've got all your documents ready, you've made it to the location they sent you, so now what? Let's get into what the day actually looks like the second you walk through the door. You might be picturing a big in-person presentation in a huge conference room, right? Well, it's actually a little different. The very first thing that'll happen is you'll be guided to a designated area where you and all the other new joiners will get set up to join a virtual meeting. And that brings us to the main event, the absolute centerpiece of your first day, the virtual onboarding session. This meeting is held over Microsoft Teams, and it's where all the really critical info is shared and your official onboarding actually gets done. Now, to join this meeting, you must bring your own laptop. I can't stress this enough. It is not optional. And it's not just about having the laptop. It's making sure all its key parts are working perfectly. The camera, the microphone, and its ability to get a solid internet connection. And listen, this isn't just some made-up warning. This is a real cautionary tale. We heard about one new joiner whose laptop camera decided to die that morning. Because of that one little issue, he couldn't complete the virtual onboarding process, which caused a huge delay and a ton of stress he didn't need. Let's be crystal clear about this. Your camera is non-negotiable. They need to be able to see you to verify who you are and to complete the process. A camera that isn't working is a complete showstopper. Your onboarding will hit a wall without it. So if you take just one piece of advice away from all this, let it be this. The night before, please open your laptop, call a friend on video chat, test your camera, test your mic, check your connection. A simple 5-minute check can literally save you hours of headaches. Now, during that virtual meeting, they're going to ask you a few pretty straightforward questions. They'll ask if you have any active academic backlogs, if you've ever interned at Cognizant before, what your current CGPA is, and your candidate ID, which, by the way, is printed right there on your onboarding pass. So just have those answers ready to go. All right, let's switch gears and do a little rapid-fire Q&A. We've collected the most common questions that pretty much every new hire asks, so you'll have the answers before you even think to ask them. This is probably the number one question on everyone's mind. You got assigned to one city, but you live way closer to another. So can you ask for a change? The answer, to be really direct, is no. At least at the very beginning of your career here, your location is set based on business needs and where the projects are. There isn't really an option to change it right before you join. Okay, next up is another big one, especially if you're relocating for the job. Does the company help you find a place to stay or provide accommodation during training? And again, the answer is pretty clear-cut. For new joiners, accommodation is something you'll need to arrange on your own, so you'll want to start looking into things like PGs or hostels near your training center. We kind of touched on this with the pass, but it's true for the meeting link too. It can be super stressful when you see your friends posting that they got their links and you're still waiting. Just remember,
All of these communications go out in batches, and please don't use a link that a friend forwards you. The only one that counts is the official one that is sent directly to your registered email. Just be patient and trust the process. Whew, we've covered a lot of ground, haven't we? From the pep work to the main event itself. So to wrap everything up nice and neat, let's just go over a simple little cheat sheet you can keep in mind for your first day.
So, here it is, plain and simple. On the do list, absolutely test your tech, especially that camera, know your candidate ID, and of course, arrive on time. On the don't list, don't panic if your email comes a little later than someone else's. Don't, for the love of all that is good, forget your laptop. And don't spend your energy asking for a location change on day one. Easy enough, right? In the end, day one is just that, the first step in a really exciting new journey. It might feel like it's all about logistics, but really, it's just the door opening to your future. You're prepared, you know exactly what to expect. So the only real question left is, what will you build from here?